Hello YouTubers! I'm back with another metal etching video. I did this bulldog a while ago and it has by far been the most popular video ever for me on YouTube. So I'm back and we're going to use the same metal etching sheets and I'm going to show you how to etch on them, and then we're going to cut them and put them on some leather. We will do this in the new V4 software because several people have asked me about it. And I'll show you how to set up in the software and how we are going to make our little bracelet. So let's go show you what you need. Alright, so what you're going to need is some leather. This is a sheet of it. I bought this at Michael's. It's about $12. And I've been cutting it with a good old Rotary Cutter and the self-healing mat. You can also cut it with some scissors, but I would not recommend using your favoriteest ever there. It's pretty tough to cut. I like the Rotary Cutter and the mat because you can make sure it's a little bit straighter. This one I have sealed with this, the leather sheen. If you don't seal it, it's likely to stain. They also, this one, I've stained, and I stained it with a saddle tan. The dark brown's really dark, so that's all up to you if you want to do that. If you don't, that is totally up to you. This is called a Veg Tan Leather. That's what makes it, that's why it's thick. And you're going to need that if you want to make it into a bracelet. Let's see, what else you're going to need. I used, for the snaps, I used the cam snaps. A little can snappy thing. You can use anything you want to. You can either use some cording, some other kind of snaps. It doesn't have to be used, but I already had this. These are the Silhouette metal etching sheets again. And you're going to need a pack. And then I've been using the Chomas etching tool. Yeah, it's expensive, but I really think it gives a better etch. You can also use the Silhouette stippling etching tool. He's substantially cheaper. And to put holes in this, I've been using the A Dile, the coolest thing ever. And I got this because of y'all wonderful people buying stuff through the Amazon links. So they just help go make the videos better. But it can make holes through the metal and the leather. Alright, so I've opened the V4 software. I got my cameo mat and everything to appear. You've got two ways to do this. Either if you have Designer Edition, just make sure the Curio is the thing that's on and plugged in. If you don't, then you can go over here to the send and make sure the Curio is your default cutter. And you can go back to page setup and make sure that your size is automatic Curio and that your mat is Curio. They just drop down. Now for the second bracelet we're making, I just figured some coordinates would kind of be cool. So I looked up the coordinates of a place and put them in here and just cut and pasted them from Google. They need to be, the sheets are 5 inches wide and this thing needs to be roughly ½ an inch tall. So go over here to the alignment tool and go over here to this. This is where the scale tool has moved to. So now I want this, the width, let's make him 4.5. And then let's make this roughly, let's do 0.5. And that's what it's gonna be. So now we can go over to, I call it the fat star. Probably need a better name for that. So this is where the etching tools now lie. This is the emboss, deboss, and we're gonna go put the lines in. So for this one, why don't we put in, you can put them in and see it's probably, okay, so click it first and then put these in, and then depending on the one we pick, yeah, if you do that and they disappear, it means you have no lines. And so let's see what this looks like. So now what happens if I do this is it doesn't go in order anymore. So if I want to do, so say I wanted at point, I don't know, 15. You can go type in any number, but if you just hit the arrows, it gives you crazy numbers now. So you can do 0.4, and you can see all the lines that have been put in there. Those are the circles. Let's do the circles. That's the crosshatch, and the crosshatch takes the longest to do, but it's also going to carve out the most material. And that's the swirl. So you can see where it kind of swirls out. So let's do this one. And this one's the concentric circles, so it's just going to keep going. If the whole thing grays out again, it meaning that this is too little and it can't do it. And this is the angle, so if you want to change the angle, you can. All right. So now I'm going to go up here to Object and Rotate, and we're going to rotate him 90 degrees. And now we're going to put him right here. So when I go back to my mat, I'm going to put my metal etching sheet against the little corner right here, and this is where we'll get it. This is where we'll make it. So, all right. So now we go over here to Material, and you want to go find your metal etching sheets. Now in this new software, they've hidden the platforms, so you have to go Edit, and this is where it'll tell you the number of platforms you need and all of this kind of stuff. The default is Sketch for whatever reason, so make sure you hit Etching and the Etching tool picks up. And then this is my 2 platform, and then 1 platform. Okay, so we're gonna save and go to Action. It defaults over here, and I don't like that. So come over here to Line. The red for the first tool, which is the one we're gonna use. Make sure this says Metal Etching Sheets and that this says Etch. Okay, and this is Etch, and that this tool has come up, the etching tool. It doesn't automatically come up. And of course, we're syncing because I have no bases in the machine, so don't panic. And then we can go over here to Send and then hit Start. So let's go set up our mats. All right, so this is the piece I've already cut, the piece of leather I've already cut. And I just took out my quilting ruler, which is once again not being used for quilting, and just measured, and that's how I figured out that I wanted my lettering 1/2 inch tall. That's all up to you. The other one I did, I think this guy's 1 inch. So now the way the Curio works is it wants to cut things that are roughly 5 millimeters tall. Okay, so you get these bases that come with it, these little platforms, and they have these numbers on them. So see, that's a 1, and then this is a 2. And the taller platform in the software means 2. So what it was telling me was 2, 2. And then we're going to put the embossing mat on. This is the white embossing mat. And this is the little base. You have another base that you can buy. This is the base that comes with the machine. The other base is the larger base. So, and then I'm just putting it on things and passing down the clips. Now, the Silhouette etching sheets come in 3 different colors. Silhouette, if you're listening, make more colors. But thankfully, it goes along with Athens. Anyway, these are the 3 colors. They're 5.5 by 7 or 5. They're 5 by 7. They're 5 by 7. This one is not, since I already cut part of it off. So what you're gonna do is, if you'll look here, you see these arrows? That's where you need to have your metal B. So it needs to be level with this one and then even with that one, give or take. It does make a mess. That's from the other bracelet I did. It's because it's etching this off and it's leaving the mess down here. And then we're going to use the Chomas tool. So we're going to go back to the machine. All right, we are at the Curio. I wanted to show you this side over here. It is blinking because it is upset with me. There are no bases in it, and that is why it's blinking at me. This is the Load Bases button, and this is the Pause button. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your bases that we already made, we already set up, and you're going to push them in, and I just say push them all the way to the back. You're supposed to push them past the notch, and then what we're going to do is we're going to push this side button over here. And there we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hit send on the Silhouette software, and it's going to etch our little numbers for us. Now the really cool thing that I very much like about the Curio is you can hit the pause button over here and then hit the unload bases button and pull it out. So that's what it's done so far. Now I can put it back in there, push it all the way back, the load button again, and hit the pause button, and it'll go right back to where it was. And something cool the new software does is it tells you how long it's going to be working, which is really cool because I had an 18-minute one the other day. So at least it gives you some idea of how long it will be working. Alright, so you will need to hit the double arrow button again to get the base out, or else it's just going to be stuck in the machine. So you're going to peel it off. And the mat itself is not that sticky, but it really likes to hold these guys. So make sure you get your cover back on. Alright. So that is our etched. That is our etched numbers. So this is my self-healing mat that is supposed to be used for quilting, but like my quilting ruler has never been used. So hold on to it. This is my quilting ruler again. Alright, and I got it lined up on the grid. You also can use scissors to cut this, and it actually doesn't leave any really sharp edges, but I like this a little bit better. So rotary cutter, and then hold everything in place. And you're going to want to go back and forth multiple times until you can get it to bend. Pop it over to the back. The reason I like doing it this way is it provides a much cleaner edge. And now we're going to go back over here. Line everything up. And then I like to count to I say 20 passes. So 1, 3, 4. Alright, so I repeated the process on the other side. It was a bit harder because there wasn't as much leverage, so keep that in mind. You can cut it with scissors, or 10 snips work too. I just like the edge that this gives. It's up to you though. So now what we're going to do is, this is the crocodile, and this is how we can put holes in the leather and in this. You can also use a nail and a hammer. So what we're going to do is I've got it all the way back in the fat hole, and then hold it level, and then get an idea of where it goes, and then wow, there we go. So now what I'm going to do is mark it on my leather, and then we're going to go back and see the teeth come down, so you can kind of see where you can get an idea of your hole, and then punch this, so then we can line these guys up. Alright, so then you're going to use your eyelets and put in the metal, and then put it through the metal and then through the leather, and then we'll move this all the way up, and we will squish it, and there you go. And then we're going to repeat the process with this side. So we'll go all the way back again. Alright, next up you're going to put snaps in here. You can either put snaps, or I'm going to use the cam snaps. If y'all want to know more about this or the crocodile, let me know and I will do a different video to show this a little more in depth. But trying to make it not be too long. So you've got it's a female and a male. So you're going to squish them together. And squeeze. And it squishes out thing. And so then you can bend your bracelet. The metal bends. And so I need this to go here, because this will come together like that. So you're going to need to bend your bracelet gently to kind of get it to take the shape you're going to want to, and it's going to stay curved. But I hope you like that. I didn't want to just do the same craft again. So now you know you can cut them and put holes in them. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe to our little channel. If you have any questions, let me know and I will do my best to answer them. Thank you.